Dream delivered, devotion repaid. We are coming, we're glad all over the land. They can hear us across the water. They're writing our name in gold on the party invite. This is Scotland in motion, ready to make an Atlantic leap. Autumn bonded the booted and the scarred. In Denmark we were bloody and bold. From Belarus sprang poise, conviction. The night's fair drew in, but Hampden delirium painted the sky. Now miracles have swung yarns into truths and made stargazing a fact. This one's for you, unborn in 98. Your dad prattles on about 86, but now your boys are going to the sticker book. Swap ya, a McGinn for a Malpass, a Gilmer for a Groff. This one's for you, who cried at Costa Rica. Here come new stories to tell and songs to sing, now that the Saltires back in the World Cup. This one's for everyone who believed a dark blue bond across the ages. Everything we ever wanted just came true. We are there.
Best start to a Hotline Live ever. It's a mic drop. We just got the road. Oh my God. Tam McManus joins me in the Hotline Live studio. Mick Gannon joins me from the Room of Doom. By the way, guys, I mean, listen, we've got that. I have to say thank you, our pals at the SFA. That was brilliant. I actually got the hair standing up the back of my neck again. And I've been an emotional wreck for the last 24 hours.
I don't know about anybody else, but I've been sitting all day just watching all these videos on social media. There's been Titanic music. There's been Like a Virgin music. You know, the one for Deadpool. The choir. It's been amazing. Listen, it's one of the best games that I've ever seen. I mean, the roller coaster of emotions from scoring that world class goal. Probably we'll talk about it later. Probably the best goal that Scotland have probably ever scored, possibly.
Unbelievable.
To going 2-1 up and then thinking we'd done it, and then against 10 men, you know, we go 2 each, we think surely we can't blow this, and then Tierney and claim the ice.
But it's us, yes, we can blow it. That was what made it just so torturous the whole way through. But it was brilliant.
But we never.
But it was like giving yourself cramp. Exactly.
But we got it last night. Finally,
Mick, you often get a happy ending. What did you think?
I have been watching videos on the internet all day as well.
You were there, obviously, Mick.
Just goosebumps. I mean, it was honestly the most incredible night I think I've ever witnessed. In a press box or otherwise. It was. I mean, we mentioned all night about the kind of when you're working in that scenario, and we mentioned that late goals are like kryptonite to sports writers. It's the last thing you want. I've seen that scenario last night. I mean, the Kieran Tierney goal, first of all, right, actually seeing fellow journalists completely losing their shape. I mean, it's 92nd minute. Completely losing their shape.
Forgetting that they've got a match reporter, right?
Forgetting there's actually deadlines and papers to fill. And then when we're all trying to rip up the words and get back to it and try and put it back together again, then there's that next one with Kenny McLean with that unbelievable finish. I mean, I just don't think I've ever seen it like it. I mean, it's I think it's like it wasn't a perfect night, it wasn't a perfect performance, but it might have been the perfect way to end like 28 years of like World Cup game. It was like all the glorious failures, the inglorious failures, the embarrassments, the near misses, all evaporated into that Hampden sky. And honestly, I've never seen a place like it. It was absolutely rocking, and the kind of joyous disbelief. And it's continuing today. Everywhere you go, there's people with big cheesy grins and hangovers.
Yeah, that's what football does, though, and that's why it means so much to us, isn't it, Tam? We are, of all the nations in the world, I think, and I get it, as South Americans are heavy into their football, but for us, this is almost, it's more than, it's like tribal. There's something deep in our DNA. Football means everything to us. So for us to have spent so long not going to a World Cup, it's no wonder there's been this massive outpouring. People are just absolutely thrilled.
Yeah, they are. Football's your national sport. It's the #1 sport in Scotland, and I think there was a thing came out the other night about Scotland in terms of fans per population. I think we're one of the
well, we are, yeah.
I think we're the biggest country in the world. So no, listen, it's fantastic to get that result. As I said, we usually get glorious failure, and I think speaking to people yesterday, it was all I don't fancy. I don't think we never win games like this. And maybe it's just a sign that things are changing in terms of Scottish football, that we don't get the glorious failure now. We go and do the business at the end when we need to.
And Mick, we need to, and I made a point of saying it last night. We need to thank Steve Clarke. Steve Clarke, look, sometimes we give him a bat over the head, a cricket bat over the head. Sometimes the fans mump and moan. I think we've been very supportive, but we've been very supportive not because we're cheerleaders, but because we've seen the improvement. We've seen what Steve Clarke has done here. It's been incremental, getting better and better. We've qualified for 2 Euros. Now he's done a World Cup. He is now the best Scotland manager of all time. I think, as a nation, certainly, as journalists, he's made it so much better to be involved in watching and covering Scotland. And I don't know about you, Mick. I can't thank them enough, the players and Steve Clarke, for what they've done.
Listen, in terms of Steve Clarke, I mean, it's genuinely statue time. I mean, I think if people might say he's statistically the greatest Scotland manager of all time, I think it's beyond doubt. I mean, if you look back to the great Scotland managers, I mean, look back at that team. I remember when I was a wee kid, Scotland were always at the World Cup, right? That was just, the big deal was getting out the group at the World Cup. That was the kind of big task. But if you look back at 78, 82, 86, Scotland had about half a dozen European Cup winners in that team. And couldn't get the group right. So to Steve Clarke to not just qualify, but to qualify 3 out of 4 tournaments and get back to World Cup with a squad. Listen, it's a good squad, but it's not a squad anywhere near what we had in 82, 86, and even in 78. So to do that with what he's got, we've got 3 or 4 world-class players, and we fit in the rest around about it. To get that level of success for us is absolutely extraordinary. And do you know what? I'm actually delighted for the guys as well, because a lot of good guys in that squad.
Yeah, they're good boys.
The subplots, I mean, look, listen, the goal scorers are going to be sitting in about 40 years' time on the radio and TV shows and all the rest of it, talking about this night. Forevermore. It's going to be folklore. But you look at guys like Craig Gordon. I mean, Craig Gordon's nearly my age, right? I struggle to put my socks on. I struggle to put my socks on in the morning. And Craig, he's nearly 43 doing that last night. Brilliant. You look at guys like, Andy Robertson, the captain. He said last night, this is the pinnacle of his career. This guy's won the European Cup, the Champions League, winning leagues in England and all that stuff. Started out, you know how he started out at Celtic, getting released as a kid, probably too wee, selling the programmes at hand. He hates to talk about that these days. But look at that for a story to lead the nation to the World Cup. There's loads of wee subplots all over the squad. It's been brilliant, absolutely brilliant. Fair play to them. They're heroes, by the way. Every one of them are heroes for forever now.
100%. And we've got loads more to talk about. We'll hear from Steve Clarke. We'll also hear from former Scotland skipper Barry Ferguson. Tam, I was hoping that you were going to come on last night. We had set up, and then there was a miscommunication.
There was.
And here's the reason why I was hoping you were going to come on last night. That is brilliant.
Yes, I went down to the pub with my friends and watched the game in East Kilbride, and the bar was stowed with Scotland fans. And I think when Shanklin scored to put us 2-1 up, I think I celebrated too much and actually two-footed a woman that was standing with her husband. And the two of us ended up on the ground. So that CCTV from the pub might come out very shortly.
Have you seen this man?
Have you seen this man? See you, Jimmy.
I think the disguise has helped you.
Aye, she'll try and get a claim in, I think.
It
was unfortunate I couldn't come on last night because I got sent an email and I didn't check my email, so that was a shame. But
That's all right. We've got to use that picture anyway.
That's fine, I need more.
Do we want to hear from Steve Clarke? Let's hear from Steve Clarke, Mickey. No?
You've earned it.
Thanks. Steve, many congratulations. Just sum up quite simply, how good does that feel?
Feels good. I said at the start of the campaign, I've felt the pressure of the nation to try to get to World Cup. So immediately that falls off your shoulders and you feel a little bit better. But what a fantastic group of players. Never give up. I've said it for a long time now about how good they are and how determined they are to be good for their country. They showed that tonight. I couldn't be happier for my players. I couldn't be happier. It's fantastic. It feels great. So that was a good choice. All the subs scored, and when Kenny's got the ball in the last minute, I'm thinking counter-attack, probably 3 against 1, and he hits the ball and you're thinking, you know what, that's going to go in, and it did. So listen, fantastic night. Like I say, delighted for my players, absolutely delighted. When we lost to Ukraine, I spoke at length. Actually, one of my longer speeches before the game, or one of my longer chats with the players, and we spoke at length about the journey. So Serbia, we talked it through, how we did it and how we felt. We talked about this. I drew a big sad face on the board and said how we spoke about Ukraine, how we felt, and obviously getting to the Euro 2024 was a high. And we just spoke about the journey a little bit, and I told them to remember how we felt after Ukraine and to bottle that feeling. And I remember at the time when I spoke to them, I said, you have to remember how bad you feel and make sure that next time you get to that stage, and I knew they would get to that stage again because they're good. I said, next time you get to that stage, get over the line. Now the campaign's been up and down, but we ended up with the most points. They made the group made a liar of me because I told them at the start of the campaign you'll need 14 points to qualify. Only needed 13. Brilliant.
Not unlucky for some.
Not unlucky for some.
In terms of moments in your career then, where does this sit?
Yeah, tonight it feels pretty special. Do you want me to go through the boring one and say, this? No, this is the best feeling. This is the best feeling. I've waited a long time. I've spoken to you before about how much I want to go to a World Cup with my country. I had the chance as a player. It passed me by for various reasons. We had the chance against Ukraine. It passed us by. And suddenly you start to think, might be the last one, might be the last chance. But it's not. We're there. So yeah, fantastic moment. I feel great. I'm going to enjoy myself tonight and tomorrow night. And the night after that, it's actually great because I've now got 3 months where I can just enjoy myself. The lads have got to have a few beers tonight and then head back to their clubs. But I've got a little bit of time, so it's going to be good, and it's going to be a good Christmas in the Clarke household. I promise you.
I just love it. I just love it. I see that bit there he's saying about he drew a sad face on the board. How do we tell the difference between Steve Clarke's happy face and his sad face? Do you know what I mean? That's him at the height. He's just become the most successful Scotland manager of all time, and he's I feel all right about it.
Yeah, I think he's so grounded. I think he's like that as a manager. He's never too high with the highs, never too low. And I think that's good as a manager or a player. You know, to have a kind of level pegging, and I think he deserves enormous credit because I'll be honest, I think we're the third best team in that group.
Yeah,
we were the third seed, obviously in the pot 3.
But we've got some extremely talented players, but
we're the third best team. So I look at that and go, well, he's punched way above his weight for us to win that group. I know people will say, well, Denmark should have beat Belarus and we were lucky at times, but that's the proof's in the pudding, the top to group, and not a lot of people fancy Scotland to top a group with 2 ex-European champions, isn't it?
It's an unbelievable achievement.
Yeah, it is.
And we've got so much. I mean, look, we can't fit it in all in the one show. There's so much to talk about. The draw on the 5th of December, we're going to find out who we're playing, where we're going. You know, you're already looking at going, look, imagine we get Canada out of pot 1. I mean, imagine we just need. I'll have look. If we've used up all our luck, we've used up all our luck. But Mick, one of the questions there that have come in: 26-man squad. How many places are actually up for grabs? I think it's Bob that asked that question, and he says he reckons 5, 6 probably maximum. Are there places still to play for, or is it now actually a case of figuring out who doesn't go out of this group?
Yeah, I think the goalkeeper. Sorry, Mike. I think the goalkeeping situation. Craig Gordon. I think will go.
Can't
will go.
do that to him again.
I think Craig
Can't
Gordon will definitely go if he's fit and available. But I think that the other spots have got to be up for grabs. Angus Gunn, obviously. I think he's been injured this trip, but I think goalkeeper. I think certainly in a striking department. Kieran Bowie, if he hits form between now and the end of the season, I think there's maybe a striker. I thought we'd really lacked that last night.
He's been in and about, isn't he?
Yeah, so I think we really lacked somebody that's going to run in behind and chase in behind when we're under pressure, and somebody can get us up the park. So it's certainly there. But I think in terms of the midfield defensively, I think a lot of those places are locked down, to be honest. So I would agree with Bob, maybe 5 or 6 spots.
By the way, Tam, I'm thinking to myself, right, can you imagine your Kieran Bowie or some other young kid that maybe hasn't actually even got his first taste of first team football? Could you imagine? I'm asking you as former player, you'll be absolutely busting yourself.
Yep.
I want to score goals. I want to get in. Just because, there's an opportunity, perhaps, of a seat on that plane. I mean, you'll probably see guys turning in record performances now. Guys scoring 30-odd goals at every club between now and the end of the season.
Yeah, I would think so. I would think in terms of Kieran Bowie as well. He's obviously a little taste of it. Started the season in flying form. People were talking about him starting games for Scotland. He's obviously went off the boil a little bit in the last few months, but he's certainly one. If I put myself in Kieran Bowie's shoes,
I think he's got to get himself on it.
If I start scoring goals again regularly for Hibs, and playing really well, I could get myself at the World Cup.
Yeah, unbelievable, man.
Mick,
is there anybody that springs to mind for you?
Well, I think there's only probably 2 or 3 spaces, really. I think you actually owe it to the guys that have got them there as well to give them the first.
He's very loyal, isn't he, Steve?
Yeah.
I also think that unfortunately, hopefully we don't. There might be injuries as well. Somebody will make a run, like you say, mentioned Bowie there, but somebody will make a run after the new year. And by the way, a lot of these Anglos that we were trying to get a couple of years ago, remember the guys that were chasing down England?
I saw Harvey Barnes throwing his hat into the ring all of a sudden.
He can GTF, by the way, not a chance.
Do one, Harvey.
Off you pop. Off you pop. Too late now. You had your sniff. Off you go. So yeah, there's got to be. You've got to balance, haven't you? It's not. Listen, I'm not there to make up the numbers and just go and have fun and enjoy the carnival. We're there to try and compete. So the race is now on. We'll get 7 months to get there. Get the head down and everyone make sure they're fighting fit and in form for places.
Well, that's the thing, isn't it?
What an incentive.
But we've got, I mean, look, I don't want to scaremonger here, but someone I know sort of from the medical side was really concerned about Ben Gannon Doak, your wee brother last night, Mick.
Cousin Ben.
Because he said, wait, you'll know yourself, Tam. Usually you can walk off a pitch if you've done your hammy. The fact that he was getting carried off a pitch suggests it's a bad one and it might need surgery. In that case, he's still got time, isn't he? He's still got plenty of time.
Yeah, it depends on if it's a real rupture. If it's a bad tear, he could be 3 or 4 months, and
you've got loads of time.
And in terms of coming back from that, it's the opening up full pace again. And
because he's such an explosive,
he's such a quick player, and we missed him badly. I thought last night when he came off,
the whole thing changed.
We didn't have a ball carrier to get us up the pitch, and we really, really missed him since he went off. So I think he's the one player that we've got that's something different. That's a wee bit of magic about him, and somebody that can cause defences problems. Rather than that, we're a very workmanlike team. But he's got that wee magic sprinkle that he can go and win games for you and create goals. So you're hoping that it's not a bad one. But I did see him jumping about at the end.
Well, that's a good sign.
With one leg through, so maybe it's not as bad as that. That was adrenaline. But if you're getting stretchered off, you're right, Keith. It's probably a bad one.
And we could do with Billy Gilmore as well. I firmly believe absolutely. We're a better team when Billy Gilmore's in the middle of the pitch for us. Mike, what was Steve Clarke's take on the sort of? I know it's early in the need go away for test, but it didn't look good for wee Ben Doak, did it?
No, it didn't. I was actually down. I was down in the mix zone doing the player stuff after the game, so I never got a word with Steve afterwards. But listen, it's funny when you get to major tournaments. There's always an injury sweat, isn't there? There's always a kind of a ticking clock with some of these players at every major tournament. We're only just getting the feeling for it again, getting back after all these years and away from major tournaments. We hope he's going to be all right. I mean, hopefully it's nothing too bad, and get him back in the new year and get him a few months under his belt before then. Because he has a wee bit of magic, hasn't he? I mean, he absolutely had his man. He for 20 minutes last night.
Yeah.
He had his man on toast last night for 20 minutes.
They were terrified him.
They were
terrified
terrified.
him.
It was funny, right enough. See McTominay's goal when he's cut back onto his left. He's clipped a ball, and I said it was like slow motion, right? And I said, "Oh, stupid floaty ball, right?"
Or if you're England commentator, it was on a plate.
It was like, oh,
Put it in a plate for him.
I was like, oh, that floaty ball. The next thing you know, I mean, I know what we're going to talk about. I don't know how McTominay gets to that. It was like the Fosbury flop. How he's managed to get up there to get his head. It was about 10 foot in the air, that ball, and he's caught it flush. You're like,
apparently it's over 8 foot. Apparently that the connection is over 8 foot.
It's incredible.
Over 8
That
foot.
is astonishing.
I mean,
So the only other guy you've seen doing that is Cristiano Ronaldo.
Yep.
Cristiano Ronaldo tries to do that now. He puts his hip up.
aye.
He's finished. Finish him.
Him and Gareth Bale and Ronaldo, the only two I think
That's right, Gareth Bale in the final.
managed to do
That's
that.
right.
I mean, it was just but it was like something for the Matrix, wasn't it? It was like slow motion.
Listen, that's actually Luke Skywalker. Guys, thanks very much for your comments. I'm sorry we're getting inundated here, but Luke Skywalker says, best goals I've seen Scotland score ever. Absolutely phenomenal. Are we going to do this? Are we going to have this conversation? Are we ranking them? Because for me, McTominay's, I'm sorry, Archie Gemmill. I'm sorry, James McFadden. We love you both, but you can both go and sit down. That is it. That goal there from McTominay is numero uno for me, Mick.
I think it might be the best goal I've seen in the flesh, honestly. I can't think.
I was at Hampden for the Zidane goal in the Champions League final. That was special. That's better than that as well. I mean, it's one of the best ever.
I think so. I think it might be the best goal I've seen in the flesh. But I mean, listen, it was like a good old tabloid phrase. Now he's got JFK moments. With 4 of them last night. With 4 JFK moments. I mean, he had a goal of the season competition. What did they call it? The Puskas. With a very own Puskas competition. I mean, Kieran Tierney bends one in for 25 yards, and it's not even going to look in against the other ones. I mean,
I know, unreal, isn't it?
I loved Shankland's goal as well. Just a good striker's goal. But I mean, what about cousin Kenny McLeod scored for the halfway line? It's preposterous what happened last night. I mean, genuinely preposterous. But McTominay's goal was just, I mean, absolutely outrageous. Really, I mean, physics defying, isn't it? So I think.
Mick, you were at the game last night. Was it clear that Schmeichel? I was obviously just watching it in the pub. Was it clear that Schmeichel was off his line that far? Because I think it was Stephen Thompson in the commentary was shouting, "Shoot, shoot!"
Hi.
And so it was Schmeichel miles off his line, because there's nobody else was actually even thinking about that. I was probably thinking just run out in the corner.
Do you know what, Tam? I don't want to kind of break the magician's code here, right, and pull back the curtain. But see, at that point in time, I'm having a heart attack, rewriting my copy from the last goal, right? And I heard the initial kind of noise building, and I looked up and I see this ball sailing through the dark night over Schmeichel's head. And I couldn't believe what it was. But listen, luckily we get TV screens at Hampden Press Box to see it again. So I've got to admit, I didn't see it because I was head down having an absolute panic attack trying to get the copy done.
Are we even ranking last night's goals? Obviously, I'm going McTominay all in. McTominay, but Kenny McLean's goal. Have you seen? I mean, if it wasn't for the McTominay goal, we're probably saying Kenny McLean's goal is the best Scotland goal of all time.
Well, I mean, he scored from the halfway line. His own half. He took his swing from his own half. I mean, it's nice, stunning. It's a brilliant bit of symmetry. Obviously, we lost a goal at that one, didn't we, at the Euros?
From almost the same yard of grass.
The COVID Euros, which we don't like kind of talking about, do we really? So it was a nice kind of little bit of symmetry, getting one of our own, wasn't it, to seal it at the end? I mean, talk about the icing and the cake. I mean, just preposterous. Kenny McLean, I think, is another one of these great wee stories. A guy who's always turned up, always done his job. Not the sexiest player in the squad by any stretch of imagination. Gets a bit of stick now and again, but Clarke, he's had 50 caps for Scotland. Turns up and does the business like that. And he will be dining out on that for the rest of his puff. I mean, he would genuinely getting wheeled out every anniversary to talk about it. And what a moment for him. I mean, what a moment for him.
And we'll never tire of hearing it, and we'll never tire of watching it. It's what happened there last night. You could just put it in a loop and sit for a week and watch it. In fact, I'll probably go home and watch. I'll probably watch that match again tonight when I go home.
Yeah, I think everyone would be doing that. Every Scotland fan will be watching those goals again for the next couple of weeks because it's just a special night. As I said, it's one of the best football matches that I've ever seen. It did everything. The drama. One minute you're at the World Cup, next minute you're out the World Cup, then you're back in. It was like hokey cokey, and then obviously Denmark are down to 10 men, and they're still battling us. They kept the ball better than us, and you're thinking, what is going on here?
Oh,
And then it goes to 2 each, and you
talk
think,
about stress levels, man.
And then Tierney hangs that in, puts that goal in, and then they actually plays 2 or 3 minutes over the allotted time.
Oh,
and you're thinking, what is this ref doing?
Aye.
And everybody's probably screaming at the telly what you're doing, and then he finishes the game icing in the cake.
It was just beautiful. It was just beautiful. You want to hear what former Scotland captain Barry Ferguson thought about it, guys? Let's do that. Barry, have you come down off cloud 9 yet, like the rest of us?
Where do I start, Jacko? Honestly, what a game! What a game to watch!
It's just astonishing, wasn't it?
Yep. See if you says to me, going right, if you're going to a game, write down what you want to see in a game. You want to see a bit of passion. You want to see some good football. You want to see goals. You want to see bookings, a sending off. And the atmosphere as well was absolutely electric. So it had a game full of everything. And before it, I was confident we would do it.
How did you feel at 2-2?
Well, that's when the nerves started to really kick in. But you fear, see when it goes to 2-2, to be honest with you, you think because you could see some of them lying on the floor when the goal went in.
Yeah.
And you're thinking, oh, is that the dagger to the heart? But I tell you what, it showed some amount of character and belief. And what a finish to the game. What unbelievable scene.
Just
it's one of the best, I'll be honest with you, it's one of the best games of football I've seen.
Yeah.
I enjoyed it. It was edge of the seat stuff. And as I said, it had everything you would want in a game of football.
How does that make you feel, as someone that captains your country and took immense pride? I mean, when you were a player, Barry, obviously the World Cup didn't happen. European Championships didn't happen.
Mm-hmm.
Back then, did you think you'd ever see the likes of this? A Scotland team qualifying for back-to-back Euros and now going to a World Cup?
If I'm being honest, no, I didn't. But when Steve Clarke came into the job and you seen the job that he done early doors, I think he done an interview last night after the game. It was interesting. It took him a year, 18 months, he said, to understand the players and get a certain way of playing. Mm-hmm. And it does take a bit of time, and you do need a bit of patience. And thankfully they've gave him that, because I tell you something, I can't believe at times the criticism the man gets. I don't understand it. What do people want? Out of 4 competitions since he's come in, he's qualified for 3 of them, 2 Euros and now a World Cup.
It's astonishing. The record's astonishing.
What do people want? So what a job he's done. But also, it's not just down to the manager, it's down to the coaching staff and ultimately the players who go onto the pitch. And some of them have been absolute immense for him, let's be honest.
In terms of Steve Clarke, though, I mean, I've seen already today calls for him to get a knighthood. And he is now Scotland's longest-serving manager. He's Scotland's most successful international manager. He's the only guy that's ever qualified for 3 tournaments. It's probably not that far-fetched to think this guy could become Sir Steve Clarke.
No, listen, I wouldn't be against it one single bit for the simple fact of the job that he's done. And you've seen where we were as a national team. We were really struggling, let's be honest with you. It wasn't enjoyable to watch at times. There was some really tough results, but he's come in. And again, it was another interesting interview. I don't know if it was the day before the game when they asked him about the job, and he says, quite a few people says to him, don't touch it with a barge pole. But you know what? He's obviously seen something in the squad, the players, and he's went and he's took the challenge head on. And what a job he's done. what a job he's done. And that last night just capped it off. That was mad. Honestly, it was mental.
And you watched it in the house. You were meant to go to the pub with the
I
boys.
I was meant to go. Couldn't manage. So I opened a wee bottle of red to enjoy during it with a wee bit of pasta. And listen, it's probably the best bottle of red I've had. I enjoyed it.
Oh man, what were you like when the third and fourth go in? I mean, I'd lost the plot by this point, and I'm sitting there trying to write.
It comes up 6 minutes. Then it comes up 6 minutes, and let's be honest with you, we had to suffer during the game.
Yeah,
we did have to suffer because let's be honest, they were good. They were good.
Yeah.
We got off to a brilliant start, and what do I say about McTominay's goal? Wow, it was ridiculous.
best Scotland goal of all time.
Aye, 100%.
For me, aye.
It's got to be. It's got to be. Great start to the game. They obviously get back in it. Then we go 2-1 up. We obviously, he's made the changes with Shankland and Shea Adams coming on. Very bold. Right, listen.
Yep.
We've got to go and take this opportunity. We get that second goal and you're thinking, right, brilliant. That'll kill the Danes a wee bit. Obviously getting the man sent off, but you've got to give them credit. They were really good to watch. They were good on the ball. They were comfortable. And as I said, we suffered at times. But do you know what? I thought the shape of the team, see when we dropped deep, we were solid, compact. They couldn't get through us. And at the times they did get through, Craig Gordon pulled off a couple of brilliant saves. I mean, 42 years of age. 42 coming up in 43. How agile. And he's not played this season.
Mm-hmm.
What a performance for him. But they get the second goal back and then you're thinking, how are we going to cope with this? But again, this team never knows when it's beat, do they?
No.
They come on, we get that third goal. What a finish for Kieran Tierney. And then, obviously, the goal for the halfway line for Kenny McLean just tops it off. And overall, thoroughly deserved. Because you know what? They kept in it, they kept going. And that's what a Scottish team is all about, or should be all about.
It's funny, isn't it? Because just a few years ago when Gordon Strachan, I thought he did a really good job as Scotland manager, Gordon Strachan.
Mm-hmm.
He was having to pick players for the English Championship, Barry. We've now got this. It does, and I know people don't like saying it because the English did it with Beckham and all this about the golden generation. This is, to me, this looks like a Scotland's golden generation. And I know, listen, in your time, there's a lot of good players as well, but these boys are different level just now. Your Napoli's, Liverpool's,
Aston Villa's. You've got Hickey, Brentford. You've got Shea Adams playing in Serie A as well. You've got Lewis.
You've got
obviously
Billy Gilmour still to come into it with Lewis. Yeah.
There's another one, Billy Gilmour, who for me is one of the top players for Scotland. No available last night.
Mm-hmm.
So it just
And
shows
Ben
you.
Doak's going to be up there as well, isn't he?
I felt for him. He looked electric, didn't he? Let's be honest with you.
Yeah.
At the start of the game, I think the big left back was like, oh no, what we got coming here. Just unfortunately, you get guys like that who are absolute fully pace. Sometimes hamstrings. It looked a bad one. Hopefully the young man's not out for too long. But yeah, he looks a top player, doesn't he? And he's only just turned 20.
Yeah.
Again,
the good news is that he's got plenty of time to recover, I guess.
Oh, plenty of time. But if you look around about the squad, it's a squad that I think's capable of going over here to America, Canada and Mexico for the World Cup and doing something that Scottish team's never done. And that's me not putting pressure on them, but I just look at them and I think they've got something about them. They're experienced now. They've got caps under their belt. They're playing at the highest level. That last night was a high-pressure game, and I thought they handled it brilliantly. So why not be excited about going over to the World Cup next summer and achieving something that a Scottish team's never done?
That was going to be my last question, but you've said it yourself. I think we've got a real chance.
What, are you winning it?
Not of winning it, Bass, no. But as you said, doing something we've never done before, get out of the groups, it would just make it such a magical experience for the fans, wouldn't it? The country.
Yeah, but Yeah, but it would, and look, you've got to be respectful of the teams you're coming up against and the quality. But again, sometimes I think we down ourselves a wee bit.
Yeah.
And you just round them off, the players and where they're playing, and they're under pressure every single week. So that can only be good for us as a national team. But yeah, if we keep everybody fit and we've got a fully fit squad to go over there next summer, then I see no reason why that we can't go further than any Scottish team has in a World Cup before.
Right, couple of things. Arise, Sir Steve.
Yes.
Why not?
Why not? As you said, he's Scotland's most successful manager now.
We've had a
He's
few,
brought
obviously
into-
Sir Alex Ferguson,
Yeah.
Sir Kenny Dalglish.
and they are proper legends of football. And I don't think Steve Clarke's obviously at that level, but in terms
But
of
in terms of the job that he's done for us,
Scotland, he definitely is his back. You know, you mentioned earlier, 4 tournaments he's qualified for 3 of them. So
Such
he
extraordinary.
deserves enormous credit
for
for that.
a country that never qualified
Yep,
for anything.
yep.
Mick, a statue or a knighthood?
I think a statue would be better than a knighthood, to be honest with you. I think it would be quite nice. Does it get you a free entry anywhere? Like, a free pint and local booze and all that stuff. Listen, he's done an incredible job, hasn't he? I mean, it deserves what he gets. I mean, listen, let's wait till we after the World Cup and we'll see how he gets on before we kind of start judging his overall body of work. Let's hope for a good draw. I mean, was it December the 5th, the draw in Washington, D.C.? So, I mean, I'm hoping for, what is it, Canada, Iran, Scotland and Cape Verde, something like that.
Don't mention Iran in the World Cup with Scotland.
Well, I suppose I. Oh, get about the revenge. I've seen is it Clarke qualified? The population is the same size as Dundee. We'll take about that, surely. They'll do us for pot 4. So listen, it's wide. There's 48 teams, isn't there, as well?
So what we want Canada for pot 1. We want what? Australia?
Australia's in pot 2. I had to be
Australia for pot 2?
possibly.
We have pot 2.
And
We don't need to worry about pot 4.
Carriacou.
Right, well, Clarke, that's what I'm saying. The population is a Dundee. They're in pot 4 with Cape Verde.
Right, we'll take them.
New Zealand. Okay. Uzbekistan on pot 3, unfortunately, alongside us. We'd like to get Uzbekistan. I don't know if they make a golden generation as well. Who knows?
Seriously though, boys, right? Now, obviously, we'll need to see the group before you can properly assess Scotland's chances. But as Barry was saying there, I happen to agree. I think this is our golden generation. If we're ever going to do it, and we were saying that about just qualifying for World Cup, but now we're there, let's set our aims, let's set our targets. I see no reason why, legitimately, with the players that we've got, and the talent at Steve Clarke's disposal, and the manager, and he will come in for stick. I'm sure there will be people calling for his head right now, and probably right up until we get on the plane to America. The whole setup feels this is going to be our best ever chance of getting through a group, Tam. No,
I think so. I think you've got a really experienced group of players now. You've got a lot of character in the group of players. You've got a lot of experience as well. So I look at the last tournament. Obviously, we were all over in Germany and we watched Scotland, and I don't think we performed.
No, we didn't turn up for it.
We didn't turn up. Particularly, I thought we played pretty well against Switzerland in the second game, and maybe a wee bit unfortunate. Last game against Hungary, high pressure game, we didn't turn up, and that was the fear last night going into that game. Was that going to be another Hungary? And Steve Clarke also deserves a lot of praise for putting the 2 strikers on. Because it was as soon as Denmark got a man sent off, I was thinking get 2 strikers on, and he done it right away.
He was actually making the substitution before the red card.
Yeah, right.
So
right.
Again, credit to him. He was going
doesn't
that way.
normally do that, but
No.
he's usually quite cagey in terms of substitutions, and he does leave it, in my opinion, sometimes too late. But it's fair play to him last night. Straight away, bang, 2 strikers, and it gave us a foothold in the game to get 2 strikers up there and try to get hold of the ball. So. No, I look at the Scotland team, I look at the Scotland squad, and if everyone's fit going into that and we get a favourable draw, then I think we should be looking to get out the group stages.
Mick, are we getting carried away?
No, because I say this new format, it's a bit like the kind of Champions League, Europa League kind of changes. It opens up a few doors because it's 48 teams, it's 12 groups of 4, top 2 qualifying, then the 8 best runners up. So it's like it goes from 48 to 32. So your odds of getting through are actually a bit better than has been through the year. So I think they can certainly dream getting to a kind of knockout.
You're right, Mick. We'll need to throw a 6-6 not to qualify here. Now you've just talked me right into it.
Listen, if we don't qualify, we take Steve's knighthood off him and take down the statue. Pull it down and get him punted.
We'll take it down like the Saddam Hussein statue.
Have you ever seen a manager who divides opinion like Steve Clarke?
No, I'm just looking there. Some of the comments. Golden generation, outdated manager.
Yep.
Outdated manager.
There was people last night saying we should be making a change before the World Cup, getting rid of him.
Thanks very much, Steve. Off your pop. Aye.
He does. He really does divide opinion amongst people that don't like his style of play. But listen, the proof's in the pudding. Managers are judged in results, and his results have been outstanding for Scotland.
And he's it's as simple as this: the best Scotland manager of all time in terms of what he's achieved. 3 tournaments. There's no one gets close to it. One of the debates that I'm seeing here between the guys sticking in comments, Mick, and it's an interesting one. It's what I said earlier. Surely there's no doubt that Craig Gordon gets on the plane. I've just seen one of the guys there saying he had no chance, but no way he should have. You know, that was his big hurrah last night.
I don't care if he's
what you'd need to have a heart of stone, would you not?
I don't care if he's in the cockpit next to the pilot. He's got to be on the plane. I mean, listen. I mean, Craig Gordon's story is unbelievable. Really, think about it. He's had 2 career killing injuries. I mean, 12 years ago he was Dumbarton coach and looking like he's hanging up his gloves. Do you know what I mean? He was finished. And he's come back and he breaks his leg at 39. He's a year out at 39 with a broken leg. At that point, you think, well, he's probably had a good run. I mean, he come back again. In this year, he's not played, obviously. But I think Barry, I thought he was brilliant last night. I think he does. I mean, I know you can't have sentiment in football. I know that, right? But surely, God, you've got to give the guy a proper kind of bookend to his career by taking him to the World Cup, surely.
Listen, I mean, that's the thing. I'm not saying this based on sentimentality. I'm saying it because I felt going into the Euros, he was probably our best keeper. I felt that was a real hard one for him. And I'm still not sure if I was given the pick right now, Tam, between Angus Gunn and Craig Gordon. I think I might go with Craig Gordon.
There's not a lot in it, and I think that those will be your top 2 keepers. I think if both are fit, and I think that the third place, you know, the likes of Zander, Clarke, Liam Kelly, guys like that, Scott Bain. I think that's the one that they'll all be fighting for. But I think if Craig and Angus are fit, they'll be your first 2 keepers.
There's a point. RFC 72 says he'll be fresh for the World Cup as he won't have played. Now that is a point. I mean. And the Hearts goalkeeper's pretty good. He's been decent this season. He's actually a big part of why they're doing so well. So, is that a problem if he goes from now until the end of the season and gets a sniff at his club?
Yeah, I think it is. I think you've got to be playing. I think any position for Scotland, you've got to be playing football.
But the goalkeepers is not like that. Angus Gunn isn't going to get a game.
He's kind of backup as well.
Yeah, Craig Gordon's not going to get a game. Liam Kelly's not going to get a game. So, on that basis, you're saying Scott Bain's number 1 for the World Cup?
No, you're right. As I said, that's what you've got. You've not got a big pool of goalkeepers. And ideally, in an ideal world, you want your goalkeeper to be playing. But as you said, even if they both aren't playing, I don't think there's any better Scottish goalkeepers out there than they 2.
Matt?
If I'm Craig Gordon, I'd be asking for a loan deal in January. I mean, I know there was talk about Kilmarnock.
That's not a bad idea.
There was talk about Kilmarnock a couple of weeks ago, whilst I think they were up against Hearts at that time as well. If I was him, I'm banging the door and saying, listen, I need a short-term loan deal for 6 months to get me playing somewhere, anywhere. I think it's almost. I think you're right, Tam. He's got to be playing. So literally anywhere on loan for 6 months to get him game time, get him playing. And by the way, the phone will be off the hook. If Craig Gordon's available for a loan deal for 6 months, he'll get plenty of offers.
You're right, and he'll get a game every week.
Yep. So yeah. I'll be chatting my door and saying, "There's any chance to help me out here?" A wee loan deal.
Right. Brilliant. Now, our producer Henrik, I hope that he's paying attention. Henrik, I think there's only one way to go out the show tonight. I just want to thank everybody for all the comments. Mick, thank you for joining. Tam, thanks for coming into the studio. Henrik, there's only one way to play out. Take us into that dressing room, please. Damn, thanks everybody. Thanks for all your comments, and we'll see you on Sunday for the next edition of Hotline Live. I think 6 o'clock on Sunday. It's a date. See you later, guys.